This is Oliver, and this is Oliver's roadmap to success. Can you give it a crash? Aussies, they're very smart. He's a mini Aussie, obviously. I'm just looking at his nails. Good job on his nails. His guardians are doing a good job. He's 10 months old. A lot of people let the nails get too long, and then the quick grows out and makes it hard to keep them shorter. If the nail gets too long, sometimes it actually splinters. You might have to amputate the nail. I've had clients that do that. All right, in his roadmap to success, we're going to talk about all the little things. We're going to try to summarize a lot of them. So the guardians, I think basically he does some demand barking. They didn't have a lot of rules for him, and he was probably under-exercised, and he was confused into thinking that he could tell his humans what to do. And so I think he thought he was in charge, and again, his genetics, he's a herding breed, so he's supposed to be in charge of others. And so I think when you get a dog that has, well, you have a herding breed dog that's under-exercised, and is confused about their position of hierarchy, that can lead to a lot of problems. And I think that's a lot of the problems that we're going on here, not the resource guarding, but a lot of the other mini problems, because you're a mini dog. All right, so I went over the importance of rules and how to enforce them. One of the rules would be not being allowed on the couch, not being allowed in this little square area in front of the couch if somebody's eating food, not being within 7 feet of anybody who's eating food at the table, not being allowed in the kitchen or eating food. Now, also when you're doing those things, remember to microwave the bacon or the roast beef or whatever it is before, and then pretend like you're cooking, or pretend like you're folding it into pieces on the table for dinner, so you can practice a warm-up and enforcing that invisible boundary. And then once he sits or lies down behind the boundary, then you put the bacon away, and then you actually do your real cooking, or you serve your real meal. So you help him warm up. It's kind of a showbiz house, so it's kind of a table reading, I think is what they call it. All right, so other rules would be not being having to sit before you let him in or out of the door, not letting him run him up and down the stairs or out the door ahead of us. I'm trying to think. If you go to the door, tell him to sit once. If he doesn't sit within 3 seconds, walk away, sit down somewhere, wait 1 minute, then go back and tell him to sit again. If he doesn't sit in 3 seconds, walk away for 2 minutes, then for 4 minutes, then for 8 minutes. You might want to also teach him to stay, so when you're doing the stairs, you could say stay or hold or wait. Go to the top of the stairs and call him up. Speaking of the stairs, he's under-exercised. The guardians actually do a better job than probably 90% of my clients. They actually take him for a couple walks a day. But being a puppy, he probably needs closer to an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of exercise. Being a herding breed, he probably needs even more than that. So one of the things I asked the guardians to do was to start an exercise journal. Here you go, buddy. Sit. Sit. Remember, always say the command word after the treat goes in the mouth, not before. So go to the top of the stairs, touch his nose with the treat, throw the treat to the bottom of the stairs. When he goes down and gets it and licks it up, say the word lobby, or something, a word that means to go downstairs. Then call him back up to the top of the stairs, give him another treat, and say penthouse, or a word that means to go up. First time you do this, do it with an empty stomach and keep on throwing those treats, and use the high-value training treats, the chicken liver I'm leaving with you. Do that until, and you can tear them in half to make them last a little bit longer. Do that until he stops coming back up, and count each down up as 1. That's right. Most dogs I have to teach them to. Well, no. And that's demand barking. When he demand barks, you want to ignore him completely. Don't look at him. Don't chastise him. Don't get frustrated. Just ignore. I've had some clients. Remember to use the escalating consequences. I've had some clients get themselves noise-canceling headphones. They plug in the speaker system in the TV, and the dog starts doing it. Put them on, and the dog, you don't even blink. Now, at the same time, the dog starts to see that does provoke a response. So be better just to ignore. Okay, so for do the stairs, going up and down, the guardian's doing a great job. He likes to destroy dog beds, and they're disagreeing with him using escalating consequences. So do that as many times with an empty stomach. Remember the first time, hey buddy, come. Until he stops coming up, and then you know what his maximum number is. Let's say it's 50. Well, then I would maybe practice him with, get him exercise with maybe 25 a couple of times a day, or 20. Play around with the elements. Another one that we did was the laser. And actually, Dad, if you want to come over and grab the laser, it's right there by my bottle of water, and go ahead and just put that right in front of him and distract him. So the middle switch, it's on the switch on the side, middle way. You're too far. There you go. Now run it in front of him. There you go, and move him away. That's the other way that we came up with a creative way. You just run him around a little bit, or take him out in the backyard and run him around the backyard. I have a woman that stays in my house and watches my dogs, and she's and runs them in laps around the backyard. So I would maybe come up with a position that you can stay in the house where you can run him. They have different access points or alleys in the house where you can kind of get him running kind of a circuit, and then count like going this way, that way, and then up the stairs as 1. And count however many times he'll do that one, again with an empty stomach, until he stops doing it. Then start an exercise journal, and throughout the day, write down the time and how many up-downs or lasers, scent games. You can Google search that one. Fetch is a great one. I went through some tips to help him drop the ball better. And then basically throughout the day, you're going to get in these exercises every 2, 3, 4 hours or so. And then at the end of the day, give them a letter grade. Keep this for about 2 to 4 weeks. And then after about 2 to 3 weeks, you'll start noticing a trend. Every time it's been longer than 3 hours since he's been exercised, that's when he gets the demand barking. So add the demand barking in there as well. If he has any accidents or any unruly behavior, anything like that, make sure you put that stuff down. He does have a resource guardian, write down the time and a little bit about what's going on. You don't have to write a book, but just put some details in. After a while, you start noticing a trend. You know, every time he resource guards, it's after 6 o'clock at night, so maybe he gets tired or something along those lines. Okay, so the exercise journal will help. It's not going to take care of the problems, but it's going to make fixing the problems much easier by upping his exercise. So again, you're probably going to need to be about 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours worth of exercise a day, but sprinkled throughout the day in shorter mini sessions. Now for a walk, I showed the guardians how to use the martingale and how to add the special twist of the leash. I would prefer to come back and teach the dog to walk with a loose leash, but this will get the guardians through in time being. If you do want to set up a session to do some training, just let me know. I prefer to get the dog to walk next to me so I don't have to do any correcting, put the leash in my back pocket and drink my cappuccino. I don't drink coffee, and read my phone as I'm walking down the street because this is Los Angeles. Nobody looks up when they cross the street. Drivers are expected not to hit you. Okay, let me see. What else? I went over in the video above the importance of drop. Make sure you practice that. Every time he's got a toy or something, just throw that, just hold the treat out in front of his nose, wait for him to drop, pop in his mouth, and don't say a word. I also went through a focus exercise with the guardians. If you forget how to do that, make sure you message me. I have a video I can share with you. I went over structured feeding and the importance of eating in the order of their rank. So whoever's feeding the dog should eat something in 5 or more bites first. While there's food in the dog's bowl and the dog's not allowed to get within 7 feet of it, and we're going to use those escalating consequences to block the dog from getting access to it. When we come home and the dog's in the kennel, open the far side of the kennel, walk up and block it with your legs, and wait for him to sit down before you take a step back to call him out. Once he starts sitting down right away, then you want to take a step back and pause. At this point, we're going to transition to him laying down. Don't tell him to sit or lie down. And then if he starts to come forward, you rush forward as your way of saying, no, that's not what I wanted. He's very athletic. I don't know if you can see that in the shot or not. And eventually he gets to the point where he'll lay down and the door will be open and he doesn't leave the kennel until he gets his command word to exit. So you might want to come up with a word, call it holiday or liberty or whatever you want to come up with. Remember, try to come up with funny command words. I'd like the guardians to actually come up with a list of the official command words and use the word watchword of vocabulary. If somebody's using one of the versions of the word, they're saying come here and the word is come, say vocabulary, and I think about myself and I say come. Now use this hand motion like this. Oh, he's looking for the laser. After the laser, he's going to spend about 10 minutes looking for it. But for a dog, I put a dog in a sit with this motion. He's like, I know you don't have a treat. And now that's a good example of the red laser. He's gonna be a little bit hyped up after the red laser. So if you're gonna do that to exercise him before guests come over, make sure there's at least 20 minutes before the guests come over. I do have a treat this time, buddy. Hey, come here. I want to show how to rock him back into a sit. So I go in an arc over his head. He sits, I lower it, let him lick it off my hand, and I tickle him under his chin. I say just the word sit. Remember, don't say good sit. Don't say, oh, sit, or a long soliloquy, just say the word sit. I also went over passive training and petting with a purpose, which are going to go a long ways towards flipping the leader-follower dynamic in this house. So every time he comes to someone, they need to be petting him and saying the word come. Every time he sits down near somebody, they need to say sit. Every time he lays down near them, say sit, or excuse me, say crash or chill, or whatever the fun word is that you want to come up with. If you see the dog came to somebody and I was not paying attention, maybe Henry would say, David, recognize. And I would turn and look at the dog. If he's sitting there, I pet him and say sit. If he's standing there, I pet him and say come. If he's laying down, I pet him and say crash. Don't practice the shake for a while because if he jumps up on you, that's if you like this, you must really like this. Okay, so for petting with a purpose, it's redirecting him into doing something we want him to do. Passive training is rewarding the dog when he voluntarily does a thing organically without any influence from a human. So every time he comes to me, I pet him and say, come. When he comes to me and starts whining or barking or nudging me and he wants attention, I'm going to tell him to sit. This is petting with a purpose. When he sits, I'm going to pet him under his chin, get that nose up in the air, so a good body mechanic of a proud dog. Then I'm going to say the word sit. And then I can pet him for 9 hours straight if I want to. He just has to do something to change his state. Or, after you've done this enough, he's going to come and sit in front of you to prepay for attention. When he does, make sure to reach over, pet him, and say sit or whatever the word is. The more you do this, now we're rewarding desired actions and behaviors. Right now, the guardians have been inadvertently validating the dog by giving him attention when he did the things that they didn't want him to do. And it's doing it once or twice, not a big deal, but we do these things over and over every day, and it becomes a habit, and he forms neural pathways about doing things the wrong way. So the more we pet with the purpose and passive train, the more that he's going to offer those desired behaviors. Also, make sure that you're petting and rewarding him within that 3-second window. Come. Remember, after 3 seconds, he's not going to really remember what it was. Let me see. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? We have some dance moves going on over here. That's pretty much it?
Yeah, I think so.
So basically, if you have any other questions, please message me. If I don't hear from you, I assume that means everything's going great. So if you have any questions, I want you to text me or call me. Like I said, assume everything, no news is good news. And it's very common to make little adjustments. Get more toys. He doesn't have enough toys, so get antlers, nylobones. The Guardian took amazing notes. I'm sure she has it all down. But get a bunch of those. So he probably should have at least access to 20 toys at any one point, with 10 more that are in the closet. Remember, every day take one new toy away, put it in the closet, in the box. Then from the back of the box, grab another toy, put it back in the rotation. So basically, there's 10 toys that are kind of getting rotated all the time. Let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. If you, the door jumping thing. I'm gonna try to remember to put it in there, but if you're watching this and there's not a video about stopping a dog from jumping up on people when they come in the door, message me and I can add it in. Probably do the one with the dog named Honey, a golden doodle, but it teaches the dog, kind of like I talked about operant, where it teaches the dog that if I jump up, people are not interested. As soon as I sit in front of them, they're all over me. But that's why petting with the purpose of passive training is so powerful. Ollie. This is Oliver. Sit. Sit. And this is Oliver's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog. Only sometimes you mean it. Crash. Little passive training. That's a great way to end the video, buddy. That's a sit.